In this video, you're going to learn about the correlation coefficient. So the correlation coefficient R is a number between -1 and +1 that measures how well a line represents a set of data points. The closer the R value is to +1, the points lie close to a line with positive slope. The closer the R value is to 0, the points are not correlated, meaning they have no association positively or negatively. And then the closer the R value is to -1, the points lie close to a line with negative slope. So down here, we want to draw a scatter plot for each of these different types of situations. So let me grab my pen. And if we want a strong negative correlation, that is when your R value would be very close to -1. Oops. So that would be -1. And if I wanted to draw that on here, I'm just going to draw a scatter plot that is very close. That would look like a negative line. So maybe it would be something that looks like this. It's very close to a perfectly straight line. So here our R value would be very close to -1. If we have weak negative correlation, then this is closer to -0.5. Let me make that smaller for you. And if we were to graph that, that is also going to be going down from left to right, but everything's going to be kind of more spread out. So it's still going down from left to right. It's just that our data values are more spread out than they were when we had a strong negative correlation. So you can see the difference here is that these are very close to a straight line, but here these ones are more spread out. No correlation, this is when your R value is going to be close to 0. And so here, your data points are not making a line in any way, shape, or form. They are just kind of all over the place, not indicating whether you should draw a line with positive slope or negative slope. They are just kind of all over the place, and it wouldn't make sense to draw a line one way or the other. If we have weak positive correlation, then here our R value is going to be closer to 0.5. And so this one is going to be going up from left to right, but everything is just going to be kind of spread out. It's not going to be super close together. It's definitely going up, but they're not as tight-knit as they are if you had a strong positive correlation. And then last but not least, if we have a strong positive correlation, our R value is close to 1. And here, this is going to be like just a perfect straight line going up. And, maybe we have some that are just slightly off, but everything's very close together. Here is where your R value would be close to +1. And so down here it says, how would you describe a graph if it has a correlation coefficient of 0.912? So 0.912 is very close to 1, and so this would have a strong positive correlation. How would you describe a graph if it has a correlation coefficient of -0.4? Well, that's really close to -0.5, and so this would be a weak negative correlation. And then how would you describe a graph if it has a correlation of 0.13? Well, 0.13 is very close to 0, and so I would say that this has no correlation.